Greetings to you, our viewers from across the globe. Welcome to another informative episode of Interview 45 Tuesday Live with Sunny Irakpo, your number one dedicated program in addressing the critical issues of social vices in our society by driving the education and sensitization of citizens on the imminent dangers of drug abuse in Nigeria and across the globe. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. The myth for today is drug prevention. Prevention, how have we failed in taking the proactive steps in our contemporary society in addressing the critical of drug abuse? This is the perspective of my discussion with our guest today on Interview 45. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back shortly after this break. My name is Sunny Irakpo, your host.
Drug abuse epidemic rocks our society. No family is immune to the devastating grip of drug addiction. In Nigeria, 85% of young people between 18 and 38 years are suffering from mental illness and disorder as a result of drugs and substance abuse. We cannot continue to watch our youth die from the drug scourge. The time for action is now.
Education and sensitization of citizens are important.
Join Interview 45 Tuesday Live with Sunny Irakpo as we tackle the ticking time bomb of youth and drug abuse. Don't miss our explosive interviews and drug prevention and education series every Tuesday, 12:30 p.m. on our YouTube channel, emedia.ng. Be part of the solution. Join the conversation. Call +234 8066 108 793 or +234 809 297 3000 for sponsorship and advert opportunities. Let's save our youth and restore our values.
Welcome back from that short break. And once I want to thank you again for the feedback that we've received from our previous episode. We're thanking you for all the comments, the likes. You can subscribe to our channel at eMedia NG channel on YouTube to be part of the conversation. I'm having my guest already with us. He's a man who has been in the forefront in campaign against drug abuse in Nigeria and across the globe. He's my colleague, my friend, and he's a US sponsored exchange alumni. He's a guy who has been in the forefront, bringing young people together to talk to them on prevention. I'm talking about Ambassador Chris Ibe, the Executive Director, African Youth Initiative on Crime Prevention. My dear brother, how are you doing, sir?
Thank you very much, Selig, Mr. Drug Abuse Prevention. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful.
You have been everywhere. You've been everywhere.
Well, it's basically a duty call. It's not as if one likes moving around here and there, but when the need arises, especially in this our sector, because the issue of drug and substance abuse among young people, even the community, is endemic, and you cannot close your eyes on it. So the trips basically has to do with identifying with global best practices,
right.
Also meeting with practitioners across the world, so to get what is best globally and also bring it back to Nigeria. Implement, so that is basically.
Well, first, let me also congratulate you. You now wear another car, a focal person, Viado, the latest which you are driving, and we strongly commend your effort. Let me I always give people shot on the show, and I know you are ready for our shot as we continue with this conversation. Drug prevention is cost-effective and life-saving. Why are we not seeing and receiving the support needed in this noble cause?
Well, that is the basis for the global initiative on drug use prevention, which is the Oviedo Declaration.
Okay.
It's popularly known. Okay, it's popularly known and said in our local parlance that prevention is better than cure.
You're right.
But it appears as if our politicians and policymakers don't really take to that word. But it's most unfortunate. You know that prevention is cost effective and does not take much time. Delayed so many things to happen. So when you talk of prevention, you're talking about savings. You're talking about savings because basically our system promotes reactionary measures in most
things.
Yes,
You're right.
in addressing issues. So I don't see how rehabilitation treatment will take precedence or will be more prioritized than prevention. But because we are aware that if effective prevention is done, or is carried, there is no need for rehabilitation. There will be no need for treatment because these are secondary issues.
You're right.
These are secondary issues.
You're right.
So that is why we are clamoring. Maybe government, they have a way of seeing, they have a way of wanting to see things happen now. And prevention is a process. It's a process. It doesn't just happen. But the issue of rehabilitation is a matter of just erecting the buildings, then clamping the victim or the victim, locking them up. So they see physical things. When you come there, you see we have 20 inmates. The doctors are there. The drugs are there. So these are some of the things most times they use in their campaign. But when you talk about prevention, evidence-based prevention is a systematic approach. It starts even from family, from family to school. From school, it moves to community. From community, even within the workplace. Prevention doesn't just happen. You close your eyes and you wake up. You said you've done prevention. Not at all. But we know that anytime a society decides to prevent, there is always security of lives and property.
You're right.
But failure to do that, you are just delaying the doomsday. Because there will be more mad, mentally deranged young people. Yes, there will be more criminals in the society.
You're right.
Because the relationship between drug and crime.
Okay.
So that is the position.
Some people say this drug prevention is not effective because politicians are benefiting from the waywardness of the youth. What can you say regarding this statement?
It's obvious. Is available in the Nigerian news or information system. We've had some politicians mention that during politics and campaign, politicians make available some resources for young people to get drugs, get intoxicated, so that they can involve in a political thuggery. They can go as far as causing mayhem, even death. We have seen it here in Nigeria. We cannot shy about it. So I think that is on that premise that when you talk about prevention, they seem not to listen. But then it's unfortunate, especially for young people too, because when they are used during this politicking, during this time of politics, after using, they get dumped. And some of them don't even have the opportunity to see those leaders, those politicians they are working for emerge, because in course of abusing drugs, getting involved in violence, getting involved in thuggery, some of them lose their lives.
Hold your thoughts. We're also going to be looking at the global environment. I just want to ask you as a follow-up question. Is there any global framework to help achieve effective drug prevention in terms of policy formulation?
Thank you very much. We are just coming back from Greece, from the ISOP Global Conference in Thessaloniki, Greece.
Yeah.
That is where the Vienna NGOC, being led by Matej Kose, a very dynamic mind and a pro-prevention advocate. Yes, of course. They came up with a global drug report which focus on prevention, you know. So collaborating with the drug, the global initiative on drug use prevention, which is the Oviedo Declaration, for the first time in the history in the history of mankind, that you are seeing a set of people with coming together. You know, when I talk a set of people with sane mind, you know, with organic mind, coming together to see how this drug issue, this menace that is ravaging the entire world can be addressed. The issue of this policy now is something that is very, very germane, that the entire network from Vienna NGOC and Oviedo Declaration are championing. The reason being that in drug demand reduction, in drug demand and supply reduction, the focus has always been, when you talk about arrest, especially in Nigeria, arrest and prosecution, that is the major successes we record each time we want to talk about the success we've recorded. But then the policy framework has been promoted by Oviedo Declaration is aiming at the global, that is member states of the United Nations, carving out 25% of drug demand budget to face prevention. So when you see policies like this, you know that they are not interested in the all the politicking. They are interested in let people live. We don't want these guys to get mentally deranged before they are moved to facilities, and you now talk, we have so and so number of people. So the essence of Oviedo Declaration is member states should devote 25% of their drug demand reduction budget to prevention. And this is where the world is going. We have over 2,000 signatories, you know, that has signed a petition, you know, so that it will be moved to the UN, and it will be adopted as a resolution, you know. And when adopted as a resolution, it will now be incumbent on member states to now domesticate the resolution, so that a country like Nigeria, ours, can now bring out 25% of drug demand reduction budget, you know, so as to address the issue of evidence-based prevention, you know, because when you talk about buying arms, huge sum of money in buying arms, you know, and you are not thinking of bringing huge sum of money to look at our kids, our children. But by the time this global policy on prevention through Oviedo Declaration, the issue of prevention would have been defined with the 25% for the global community. It's not as if member states cannot increase it. But what they are just saying here is a minimum of 25%. There are some states that considers it a priority, and they can go as far as 50% because prevention is key. Yes, of course. If you carry out objective prevention, effective prevention, evidence-based prevention, there will not be need for treatment. There will not be need for rehabilitation.
Prevention is key. There will not be need for treatment if effective prevention is put in place. I was in the Oviedo conference with all the African leaders who gathered via the online platform, where we are discussing how we can synergize, bring our ideas together to push this ideology. Now, I want to ask you this question. What role do you think international organizations play in the establishment of global drug prevention policies? organizations such as the various NGOs, the corporate individuals, and all that, what role do you think that they can play in achieving this prevention policy?
Thank you very much. The event you talked about is the first African hearing on Oviedo Declaration. That took place on the 2nd of July, and the entire global community, the who is who in prevention, was there. United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, the UNODC, they were represented. The Vienna NGO, the chair of Vienna NGOC, Martage, was also there. Then my global coordinator for the Oviedo Declaration, being Oriol, was also there, and the African Union.
You're right.
So your question is, how will
the organizations, the international organization, play
the role they will
play in the establishment?
Yes, of course. This is exactly what we are playing.
Okay.
The international organizations, NGOs, across the globe are synergizing. They are mobilizing. Because, we don't have votes. If you come to the United Nations, where these resolutions are passed, we don't have votes as NGOs.
Okay.
But the only responsibility or role we should play is to mobilize NGOs across the world. Like what we are doing in Nigeria.
You're right.
Across the world, to make their government see reasons why they should vote yes in drug policy. Make government see reasons why drug policy should be one of the items for discussion during the Summit of the Future, which is coming up in September in New York.
Okay.
That is where so many issues bordering the global community, bordering that is the SDGs 3, 4, and 16 will also be addressed. So our responsibility as civil society organizations, as NGOs, is to mobilize CSOs across the nook and cranny of the world, like what we're doing in Nigeria, to make government see reasons.
Wow.
I am happy for Nigeria. You know why? Nigeria is a no country when it comes to legalization. Nigeria voted no at UNGAS in 2016.
Right.
Nigeria also voted no in the CNDs that was recently held in Vienna. So when you said no, you are very, very close to prevention. You understand? So for us here, I don't think it will be difficult because the NDLA, they are also doing a wonderful job. Partnership with CSOs has increased, unlike before. So it is now left for us to work with NDLA, work with the Ministry of Health, work with the Ministry of the Office of the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, because these are stakeholders. Work with NAFDAC, so for them to see reason why Nigeria should tell the entire world that drug policy must be an item in that item of discussion come the Summit of the Future in September. So the responsibility, the roles of organizations are very, very unique. Mobilize, let our government know that there is need for drug policy to be discussed, to be added as part of the items that will be discussed in the Summit of the Future coming up in New York.
You've been listening to the voice of Ambassador Chris Ibe, the Executive Director, African Youth Initiatives on Crime Prevention, who has been in the forefront. He's my colleague. He has been doing a lot, and we are proud of what he's doing. And I want to ask you this question. You talked about punishment. Most of the time, governments, they toe the line of arresting this individual, puts them in jail, and at the end of the day, this individual come out and still go back to the crime. Now, I want to ask you, how can government balance punitive measures with public health approaches in combating drug abuse?
Yeah, if you thank you very much for that question. If you follow the trend of the fight against drug abuse in Nigeria and other parts of the world, you will see that it has moved. Before now, it was enforcement, basically arrest, prosecute, and sentence. But I haven't seen that the approach has not given us the real result that we needed. It has moved to health. It has moved to health issues. So many people have seen it that the issue of drugs should also be seen as health issue, as a public health issue. Yes, we are grappling with that. But when you combine, you just oppose the enforcement, that is arrest, prosecute, and jail, and also mental health, you now see that something is left out, which is where the world is going.
On prevention.
Prevention. That is beyond prevention. You also have the humanistic aspect of it. Because even those who went to rehab, most times when they come back, you still go back. Not only going back, you see some of them going into they go into depression. Some of them, a whole lot of stigma is attached to it. So it has moved from enforcement, is gradually moving from mental health. We are now going towards the humanistic aspect of it, which has to do with care. Which has to do with care. So, for us to balance it, you have to arrest. But based on the measures, you can refer. When you refer and a treatment administered, there is reason for care. There must be, to sustain or to get a holistic result from this process. So it doesn't really end in arresting. It's also not ending in health issue. So after health, what happened? You must start thinking of how to rehabilitate.
Which will cost more money.
How to rehabilitate. So by this, care comes in. And that is why we are shouting and campaigning and preaching that all these processes, huge money. There is nothing like a sane mind. When you talk a young person out of drug, you have spoken to him out of crime and other associated vices. So there must be that linkage, that synergy between arrest, mental health issue, and also care. That is where the balance comes in. So we must not make our success, base on the number of arrests or the number of prosecution or the number of conviction we have gotten. We should also vis-a-vis compare it with how many young people are we treating. Beyond treating, how many young people have we rehabilitated? How many young people have we cared for? How many young people have we provided for? Because it's all about, it's a cycle.
You're right.
It's a cycle.
You're
If
right.
you cannot successfully get a young man back into a living way, you cannot say you have succeeded in the fight.
You cannot say we are succeeded in a fight. And one of the things I really want to portray in this conversation is the need for government to see reasons why they should throw their weight behind the fight against drug abuse. But what are the economic impacts of drug abuse on a national scale and how this can be mitigated? You see what is happening in our society, the impact, because most of the time the government, they say, oh, we are caring for the youth. At the end of the day, we are not really seeing the care, like as you've mentioned. Now, we want to emphasize again, what are these impacts of drug abuse at the national scale?
Is huge. It's huge. Nigeria used to be a very lovely country where nightlife is where we have kind of a dual economic system, the day and the night economy. But you can see what is happening today. There is no nightlife again. These are some of the implications, the effect of what we are talking about. You see the number of kidnapping cases. You see the number of robbery cases. You see walk in the street of Nigeria. You see the number of mentally deranged young people walking. How about our workforce? Young people are supposed to be the basis of our economic workforce.
So
how many of them are gainfully employed, and how many of them are employable? These are some of the issues, some of the implications, of the equations, the effect of drugs. So since there is no meaningful engagement by way of employment or by way of other activities, that tend to focus and reposition the minds of young people positively, definitely something else will occupy their minds. Remember, they are like erosion. If you don't create a path, they're like water, erosion. If you don't create a path for them, definitely water will find its level. And I normally tell young people, say, hey man, if don't feel that nobody cares, because these guys, especially the movers of this drug industry, they are ahead of most member states. They are very, very far ahead. Member state can only chase them because drug itself is part of the society. So what we are saying here is, for the fact that most member states has refused to show empathy, to take responsibility by way of putting these young people in a position that they cannot think the way of drugs. Definitely, young people will start thinking something else. They will start thinking something else, and that might
trigger a lot of
economic, a lot of things. So the only way about it is for our government to come up with policies that will meaningfully engage young people, empower them. For what I know, Nigerian youth don't need so much. I'm being honest to you. Nigerian youth, if you ask them, most of this Nigerian youth, they don't need much.
Create the enabling environment.
Yes, just create the enabling environment and you see them strive. They are bundle of skills.
You're right.
They are bundle of skills, and you see that they just want their daily bread, and a situation whereby there is no hope. If there is no hope, they live in hopelessness.
Then on the part of these young people, and from your own assessment, they are the asset in which the country can tap into and be more productive, adding their own quota to the development of the country. Now, what role even these young people too? What are the role that they too need to play? Must they go into drugs?
Definitely they must not. But there's what they call causative factors. Young people need to develop skills, resilient skills to say no to drugs. Are you get what I'm saying? So when these bases are not there, they are bound to go the way they will go. But then life is all about choice in most cases. Life is all about choice. And even within that choice, there is a word called mentorship. If we don't have village keepers, community keepers, young people are bound to make whatever decisions they feel is good for them. Even if you look at little babies, kids, if they are giving birth to and their mothers are breastfeeding them, sometimes they want to take charge. They want to take charge of the breast.
You're right.
Are you getting what I'm saying? So you see,
you have a good experience of that.
Definitely, we are parents. So you now watch them until the mom will now have to
Take control.
Take control. Make sure that the breast
Is well
is well positioned for him or her to feed well. Are you get what I'm saying? So that can also be taken in the issue of drug and substance abuse. If you allow them, they become disastrous. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They become disastrous. So that is why there is need for meaningful engagement for young people, training. You know, there are facilities that needs to be put in place. There is nothing you can do to a hungry man for him not to find something to eat.
Until he feeds this.
Until the tummy is considered. You will see him moving up and down. That is just the basics. A situation whereby you don't have anything for young people, what do you do? What do you expect them to do?
Well, to pick up different issues.
That is just it. It becomes survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
But when you create a design, a program, like what we are doing, our programs train young people and also put them, when you've been to the academy, the football academy, you see that anytime young people come to the academy, you see them, they think nothing
than playing the football.
You're
right.
And it's just a simple analysis of the whole situation. If you engage them, develop their skills, there will not be room to start
taking drugs.
I'm not holding brief for young people. But what I'm saying is these factors has influenced their actions. Many. It's just few that can resist. And for you to resist, you also have some support system. That is the basics. You have some support system that will enable you, that will sustain the resilience you've already built. Because failure to have those support system, you fall back to become drugs. A victim into drugs.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You've been listening to Chris Ibe, the Executive Director, African Youth Initiative on Crime Prevention. Lastly, I'm going to fire this shot at you. In Nigeria, we have been in this struggle together for over a decade now. And I really want to ask you in sincerity, what is your own take? Is Nigeria actually taking those adequate steps? Those steps that are really needed in terms of the drug prevention policies and formulations to combat drug abuse? As we round up.
Yes, my brother, I will say yes. But those slow, but they are gradually moving. Why do I say so? We have seen CEOs of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agencies come and go. But the present CEO, who happens to be Brigadier General Buba Marwa, has shown some sense of commitment to all these issues. Yes, of course. I've always pitied them. Both of us, we have advocated for NDLA that is responsible for all this sector, or the agency responsible for drug demand and supply reduction in Nigeria. Before now, they've been so understaffed, underfunded.
You're right.
At a time when the drug issue in FCT was huge, FCT command of NDLA had just 75 staff. So
in FCT,
75 staff. I'm talking about 2000 and by 2016, 2018, the entire workforce of NDLA was not up to 2,000. In a country of 200 million plus.
It's really a challenge.
It's a challenge. So why I said they are beginning to improve is because of the coming of Brigadier General Marwa. He has shown that commitment, the openness before, when each time CSOs, NGOs approach NDLA for one thing or the other. Some of them pick offense. They want to ask you, are you teaching us our job or stuff like that? But we have seen a CEO who is open and ready to collaborate with NGOs, and stakeholders. So the issue now is, where are they laying emphasis? Where are their priorities? That is where we are now.
Okay.
It still remains in the area of supply reduction.
Yeah.
So if supply reduction becomes prioritized, what happens to demand reduction? That is the issue. And that is why the issue of Oviedo Declaration is very, very paramount. I actually don't know. I know President Tinubu, to a large extent, has upped their budget a bit, the last budget. So what we are clamoring is to also know budget allocation for prevention.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So these things are not separated. They are not defined.
They move together.
So we must start knowing, like the likes of Kenya, you know about NACADA, the agency responsible for drug they have these things. It's been simplified. So we are also expecting Nigeria to take a clue from what we have at NACADA to also kind of domesticate those things, so that we can have a defined budget for prevention. We are not interested in so much rehabilitation. We don't want our young people to even go there. We don't want,
because of the stigma.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
They never come out of it. They never come out of it. Yes, we have some champions, but at any point in time, you see them still thinking about their past. So it might be deliberate in the side of the public or family to always remind them. But then it is better not to be part to venture at all.
Well, you talked about the NDLA. I know NDLA too, they have the War Against Drug Abuse campaign, which they are already carrying out. But I feel that they need to intensify. They need to incorporate all the various organizations for we to actually get the needed result. Now, on a final note, I understand that drug abuse requires policies, preventive policies and activities that is geared towards the users. And until we put the users into the center point or into the center stage of our discussion, of our activities, we won't be able to get the needed result. In fact, prevention, if it is not there, is just like you are fetching water into an empty basket. So I'm saying that we need to toe the line of prevention. Unfortunately, time is not our friend, and we've been having a very robust engagement with Ambassador Chris Ibe, the Executive Director, Africa Youth Initiative on Crime Prevention. Once again, I want to thank you so much, sir, for coming on Interview 45.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sonny. You are doing a great job.
Thank you.
We must keep the campaign rolling.
Yeah.
It's not. I know that it's not an easy stuff, easy campaign, but we must keep it rolling.
Yeah. Once again, I want to thank you for coming on Interview 45. By the grace of God, we will see you next time on Interview 45. God bless you. Stay tuned, and we'll continue to bring information that leads to transformation. I45withSunnyIrakpo is my name.
Drug abuse epidemic rocks our society. No family is immune to the devastating grip of drug addiction. In Nigeria, 85% of young people between 18 and 38 years are suffering from mental illness and disorder as a result of drugs and substance abuse. We cannot continue to watch our youth die from the drug scourge. The time for action is now.
Education and sensitization of citizens are important.
Join Interview 45 Tuesday Live with Sunny Irakpo as we tackle the ticking time bomb of youth and drug abuse. Don't miss our explosive interviews and drug prevention and education series every Tuesday, 12:30 p.m. on our YouTube channel, emedia.ng. Be part of the solution. Join the conversation. Call +234 8066 108 793 or +234 809 297 3000 for sponsorship and advert opportunities. Let's save our youth and restore our values.